This is a 2005 Sunseeker Manhattan 50, and this I think is a very interesting boat, mainly because of its layout, and I'll explain that to you when we go on board. But it's also a very attractive boat. It's typical Sunseeker of the era, with these very swoopy windows and this lovely design. Looks very organic. But as ever, we're going to head on board and I'm going to give you the full tour. So we'll step on via this bathing platform. I think this is quite a neat idea. They've put these little extended pieces here so you can step on rather than having to step right round. I think that's a nice touch. And on here then you've got your usual bits and pieces like rope lockers, and on the other side is a boarding ladder underneath there. And the other thing you have here, which is very handy, is a transom shower. Now this isn't a high-low platform, this predates high-low platforms, so you just pull a small dinghy onto here. If you wanted to put a rib on here you could do, but you'd need to fit either a crane or a passerelle to lift it up and put it onto chocks. But that could be retrofitted, of course. Up into the cockpit then, and you've got this nice area at the back. We've got the canopies on at the moment, so it makes this like a bit of a conservatory really, but of course all these will come off. And you've got the shade of the overhang, but you've got this completely open, which is nice. I think what we'll do is we'll head inside first of all, take a look at that interior and work our way around and out. Now this is very much classic Sunseeker of this era, with this high gloss cherry wood. I actually think it looks really nice. Very classy, particularly with the light leather. One thing I do like is you've got this area, which is, as you can see, your saloon. If you want to dine here, then we can move that out of the way, pop it gently on there, and this then swivels like so and opens, and suddenly you've doubled the size of that. So you've got a really great dining area around there. But of course when you're not eating, you don't have to sit up to a table because that folds back away again just as easily. I think that's a neat touch. Let's put that back. Before I forget, you've got seating opposite, so that makes this into a very social area. And a couple of steps up, TV is here, as you can see. This is just all your AV equipment, that's hidden inside there. And on the opposite side then, that's just a little bar area for all your glasses and drinks and bits and pieces. The lower helm is here. It's a Flybridge boat, so we've got a helm here and we've got a helm upstairs. And this is your radar and chart plotter, Ray Marine in underneath there, and further instrumentation, autopilot in the sense that she's twin engines, of course. We'll have a look at those. And another nice thing is it's got bow and stern thruster, which makes the boat very manoeuvrable. And again, typical Sunseeker, these little details like the way they've done this wheel just looks so nice. And a pretty decent view out because you are raised up here, so it's another little step up. So when you're sat there you have actually got a really decent view out the boat. It's a lower helm you can really use. Also got a sliding window, so that means you can talk to people out on the deck or just get a bit more ventilation through here. Now 2005 predates the galley aft layouts we're seeing a lot of now, and that means you've just got this as a big social area, and your galley then is down on the lower deck. So that is down here, and a pretty decent size because of it. So that takes up all of this area. This is interesting because it's a huge storage locker, but it is washing machine sized. So if you want to stay on the boat and be able to do your washing, you can have a washing machine retrofitted into there. Very nice worktop with this sort of flake effect. It's like a 3D, that's very good. It's all electric cooking, of course. You've got the 3-burner hob and then you've got the oven underneath. And then this is all loads of storage along here. And you can see it's got all the Sunseeker logoed original crockery. Very nice. Even a milk jug. There we go, Sunseeker milk jug. Brilliant. So loads of storage all the way around here, all the way around here, and then behind me, big fridge freezer, all stocked and ready to go by the look of it. This boat is clearly still very much in use. And your freezer is underneath. So you've got plenty of room for cool storage. And then ahead of this is the VIP guest cabin. So that's up in here. Very nice size. Big hatch overhead. That opens, of course, for ventilation or another route out of this deck. And you've got things like wardrobes in here, like so. It's all storage all the way around the top. There's AV equipment in here. And there's drawers under the bed as well. So you've got a fair old bit of space for whatever you want to keep in there. And this one has ensuite access to the dayheads, so you can go straight from here into the dayhead compartment. There's a circular shower, so that screen rotates around on that track, keeps that separate. Your bowl is in here, of course, and then the loo itself, that's in behind there. And that door we can see on that side, that is, let's close that one over, the day access. So that comes straight from the galley area, so during the day people can come down the steps and straight in without going through any cabins, but it also means that it can be used from cabin 3. That's around here. Bunk beds in this one, but proper adult size. And you've got a window in there which you can open for a bit of ventilation. And again, plenty of storage. Considering this is a third cabin on a 50-foot boat, that's really good. Drawers underneath. Excellent. Now I mentioned this was quite an innovative layout for its time, and this was actually, I think, if not the first, and certainly one of the very first 50-foot boats to fit a full beam master cabin in, and that's in here. So when this boat was launched, that was something very special indeed. These days it's quite common to see a full beam in here, but for a boat of this era, that's rare. And it's a really nice cabin. You've got this great sideboard area down the side, little dressing table they fitted in down there. The centre window opens on both sides, so you can get plenty of air through. And again, just tons of storage all the way around. It's a boat that you can go away for a couple of weeks on very comfortably indeed. And as you'd expect, this has its own private ensuite. So that's in here. And again, it has one of these circular shower stalls, so you can keep the rest of the compartment dry. And then your bowl and your loo, but very nicely fitted out, the way they've done the woodwork here and the cherry wood and so on. That's excellent. But that, I think, is what really stands out in this boat. I think that's an excellent cabin. Very nice indeed. Let's go and have a look around the outside. We'll take in the Flybridge as well, of course, and we'll take in the engine room. I'll just show you as we're going past as well. This is the switch panel tucked away in here. So all of your circuit breakers for all the boat's equipment, that's all controlled from here. And that's just a massive locker underneath for things like your Hoover and other bits and pieces you want to keep that are a bit bulkier. They will go in there. And the other thing we have on this boat, which is a nice touch, is it does have the air conditioning system. So that was an extra when the boat was new, but a very nice one to have. But this, I think, when you come up here, this is a beautiful area. Really social. And I like the fact this is a bit sort of squared off rather than just a big semicircle, because it means you can tuck yourself into the corners, which I always like. With the proverbial good book. Let's go and have a look around the outside. So, where first? Flybridge, I think. Pop the old shoes back on. And we'll find that up these steps. Teak laid. Big sunbathing area next to the helm. There's also a wet bar up here with a top loading fridge. And a great seat across here. You could fit probably 4 people across there. And that is your upper helm. Great view out across the front of the boat. Very good for manoeuvring. And then you've got your wheel here, of course. Bow and stern thruster controls, engine controls. There's a repeater for the Raymarine navigation equipment. So everything you need to drive the boat, you can get to from here. And then behind this, just a lovely big seating area, somewhere for a bit of lunch or relax of an afternoon, get a great view out. That's very good. This one's also got the satellite domes on it, and that canister just there, that's a life raft. So that's quite a good position for that. It's out of the way, but it's easy to get to. And this drops down for 2 reasons. Firstly, of course, if you've got kids on board, it's good to drop that down. It means that no one's going to accidentally step onto that and fall down it. But the other thing is that with the canopies on, it means that this area down here, the cockpit area, becomes a completely enclosed space, because you can zip this door down. That's all closed in, and of course with that down, that's closed in as well. We're going to head out this way now, take a look up onto the front. This is Sunseeker detailing right here. Look at this grate. Rather than just a bit of plastic grating, they've put that on, and that is, I think, the difference for these sorts of boats. It's the detailing that goes into them. It's really good quality. Navigation lights, they're stainless steel, not plastic. Everywhere you look, it's all really high quality, and that's why a 2005 boat like this, 15 years old, still looks this good. Look at these wipers, again, stainless steel. This is designed for sunbathing, up on the front, so you can have cushions on there if you want to, and the electric anchor winch right up on the bow. And that's the anchor itself, of course. Well, that is a nice looking boat, isn't it? Let's go and see what makes it go. So we'll head back down this side. Back in through here. And the engines are under here. This is a very handy rail, because you can hold onto this and lower yourself gently in down the ladder. Very good. So down here we have a pair of Caterpillar diesel engines. They are a conventional shaft drive, and they're a C12 unit, which is a very well proven unit. They're actually 715 horsepower each. They're going to give the boat probably 30 knots, maybe a touch over, cruising therefore 20-25 knots, which is exactly what you expect of a boat like this. I mentioned it's conventional shaft drive. You can actually see them here, so the gearboxes are on the back of the engines, and you can see the shafts going out down there. So it's very, very simple. This changes the gears from forward, neutral or reverse, and that spins that shaft. Propeller on the end of it and a rudder behind it to steer it. And on a used boat, that is reassuringly simple. Generator is in here as well, as you can see, and you've got things like the automatic fire extinguishing system. There's a manual backup bilge pump. It has electric bilge pumps as well, of course, but that is, if those were ever to fail, you can still pump the bilges manually. Lighting in here, as you can see, and these are actually all pretty get-atable. Fuel tanks are on the outside, and you can see they've got the filters actually on the tanks there. So again, pretty easy to get to. And then this is all electronics up here on the front. But it's pretty tidy down here for a 15-year-old boat. That's impressive. Very nice. Okay, let's head on back up. Now the last thing to mention is the crew cabin, because there was an option of a crew cabin on this boat, but most boats of 50 foot, particularly in the UK, are owner operated. So that was the reason it was an option, because you could choose to have it as storage instead, which is probably more sensible on this type of boat, and that is indeed what the first owner of this one did. So if we lift this, here we go. This is just a massive storage void. You could have it fitted out as a crew cabin. It would be quite a small one, but I think that makes much more sense like that, to be honest. So you can chuck your fishing rods, as you can see, but anything you don't want to have sort of on the inside of the boat, deck gear, cleaning gear, maybe a petrol tank for tender, that kind of thing, that's a really good place for it. Very good. Okay, let's drop that one back down. Slip that back on. And I think these comfy looking deck chairs look like a good place to finish up. There we go. And I will say, huge thanks to Sunseeker Brokerage, their Torquay office organised this one for me, and huge thanks of course to the owner as well for allowing it, and huge thanks as ever to you guys for watching. If you've not subscribed, do consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps the channel, and it will keep you posted with new videos coming, and we will certainly do our best to keep those coming. And we look forward to catching you on the next one. Take care, bye bye.